Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. All right. Back at it again here. Mhm. 7 a.m. Good morning, Larry. Good morning. See if we get anything really coming up here. Don't really see anything on the scanners too much this morning. Good morning, Powell. Oh, I speak too soon. Something just popped up. Let's take a look. NASA's partnership with Jiangsu GSO. Looks Chinese in nature. Cayman Islands. Yeah, that's way faster using Weeble's profiling thing. Yep, SPHL. Yep, correct. This one is definitely on watch. Not a crazy catalyst. This is a stock also that is somewhat beaten up. Looks like a lower float though. First minute had a very huge surge. This initial surge was only 13,000. Good morning, everybody. Very high volume coming in up here. It's 380 level. Actually, looking at the daily, yeah, this does have some swings. 50-cent swings occasionally on the daily. Increasing volume still. But despite this surge of volume, price didn't actually move much relative to this last move. And this move was also light volume. So really you could look at it as these two candles were very light volume. The heavy volume came through here at the top. This looks very top heavy to me. We'll see if this actually does pull by or if it reverses here. My bet is this is the top and it reverses. Good morning, Marcel. Yeah, strange company location. News catalyst doesn't seem that great. Also, this volume profile seems suspicious. I don't like it. Yeah, the only thing I think that would make me interested in this again would be if this volume candle was a green candle and higher volume than these two. All right, if we're getting a recovery candle and it's lower volumes, it doesn't look good. Just a heads up for those of you who are watching, I have sized up slightly. Still not as much as I was before. But I have sized up slightly. I feel like I did a much better job containing myself, so I'm taking the foot off the brake a little bit. It feels necessary too, because it is a hotter market. So we'll see how today goes. Okay, descending volume. I mean, I do respect that this is very high volume. Right, this is exceptional. And if it's only 1 million shares, that is significant. But I just don't like the volume on it. It looks bad to me. Similar volume. I'm surprised. Okay, no, we did get some volume coming through here that's higher than this. This volume could invalidate this volume profile here now. This is higher volume. We'll see. Yeah, 500,000 is very significant. Stock schwabbed. Yeah, that's how it's gonna be. And we're gonna keep on going that way too. More and more stocks are going to become untradeable. Schwab's either going to fully commit, I think, to not adhering to day traders, or if there's enough backlash and that is enough that they think that they're losing money, then they might reconsider. But yeah, I think it's highly likely they're doing it to help the market makers, so I'm more leaning that they're going to pivot. Hey man, saw your recap 2 days ago. Didn't understand what momentum strategy you're trading. It is more of a reverse. Well, there's two. I mean, there's front side and back side. Lately, I've been focused on the back side. It is mostly looking at volume relative to the actual move. Like you notice, I don't have moving averages, so I'm mostly looking for that. Like, for example, when this popped up here, these two bars were super, super low volume. So red flag to me. We also had high volume up here at the high. This looks like it was very top heavy. I'm actually quite frankly surprised that after this kind of volume, we had good resolution. I'm kind of surprised by this. Yeah, the news catalyst doesn't even seem like amazing either. It's just a partnership. And it could just be the lower float plus the hotter market. Right, this does appear to be a lower float. It does appear to be a hotter market. Maybe those two together with the news, even though the news seems mediocre, that's enough. Could be the case too. Because this kind of news catalyst getting 500,000 of volume per minute is kind of crazy. Still don't know how to check if a stock is Schwabbed without buying one share for funsies. Yeah, well, you don't even have to buy one. You just need to place an order, right? So you just put an order for 1 cent and you check it, right? Well, no, actually that might work depending on the priority. If they prioritize making sure you don't have a bad fill or that your fill price is too low, because like they might just say, hey, your price is too far from the bid or something like that. Because I know that's another thing they do. But I don't know if they prioritize that or they're restricted. Good morning, Skivon. Hey, we're already up to 33. That's crazy. Oh, just dip back to 27. But still, appreciate all you guys that are showing up here today. If you could do me a favor and hit the like button, I would appreciate it. Full strategy. Unfortunately, I can't trade this stock on IBKR. Okay, so I didn't realize they also do restrictions. Yeah, IBKR, I tried using that platform. It just feels so janky to me. You also really need different charting, because I tried their charting. It seemed not great. Yeah, you're right. I can just place one in order under the current price. Yeah, that seems more logical to me. That way you're not having to wait until the moment or something. A little hiccup in the quality there. Hopefully it's okay. Think I might take a trade on this one. It looks pretty good. It does, but I'm torn, and this could just be the market being hot. This doesn't seem like a crazy catalyst, but we're getting high volume on a low float. Also, we had a very strange volume profile that I thought disqualified it, but then you got this huge surge of volume here. So I'm getting mixed signals. To me, I'm more of the mindset of this would have done badly in a poorer market, a colder market. It seems like this might be acceptable, and we might just need to be more aggressive in this hotter market. On the flip side, this is already somewhat extended, right? This is up, what, nearly 100%? 80% or something? Actually, let me reset these. I don't need these up anymore. Yeah, I mean, this is up nearly 100% already, so I feel like I'm a little late to the party. We're going on the third pullback now. So I don't really think I should mess with it anymore. But this might be a signal for the rest of the day, or at least the next several trades, that I should be more aggressive on the trigger. We're down 400 so far. Traded thicker than he likes. Yeah, this isn't... This first move was very great, right? It was solid. I mean, it's a 90% move. But it kind of churned here. We had a nice break here, but it churned here for like 5 or 6 minutes. I don't know. I'm a little afraid that it's too late. That any type of chasing here, it feels like you're chasing too late into the move, potentially. Counter argument would be it's a hotter market. We saw RO, whatever it was. ROLR. I'm just going to log this one just because I do want to keep an eye on it. Yeah, ROLR did do an insane move, so 100% move isn't unbeatable. But I don't think it's good practice to be trying to enter after the stock's up 100%. Feel like I'm late on this one. I'll sit on my hands for now. Yeah, I'm worried I'm too late. I was too hesitant to pull the trigger here. I saw what I thought were valid red flags. The catalyst not being the greatest, and this volume setup looking questionable. It played out, so I just need to log this as an instance that happened and keep an eye out for next opportunities. I think that's how I'm going to play it. See, we did get a couple more likes. I do appreciate it. Thank you all. Okay, so volume here, a little interesting. We had decreased volume on this pullback. This breakdown, significant volume. It's about in line with the lower half of the range. Right, this pullback's about equal to this, so no real huge edge that I can see trying to buy a dip for value play. Someone keeps showing up on the ask around 22, 23. Like 2,000, 3,000 share orders. Nothing too huge, but they keep getting eaten up and replaced. Could be a hidden seller. I mean, this is right at the critical 1 minute breakout too, so we'll see how this plays. This is a critical position. The 1 minute curl. Let's see if I was reading the tape well. Like I said, it looked like there was a hidden seller at 423 here on this candle. We did resolve into a push lower. Volume is low though. Position size has been increased from yesterday. So yesterday I was taking, what was it? I was taking 1/4 size yesterday. More of a trader rehab kind of thing. Today I bumped it up slightly. I'm now taking 1/3 size. So it's still pretty low size. We're not expecting us to hit any big home runs, but smaller base hits. 1/3 size, we're looking at roughly 3 to 4% position of the total account balance. I thought you would have traded the stock Ross made 86K out of. Yeah, that one just looked too crazy for me. Given how my state mentally yesterday, I did not want to engage with something so reckless. Made a lot more sense to sit on the sidelines. Maybe if I was on my A game, I would have engaged with it more. Yeah, 86K hit is crazy. All right, we're seeing a surge come through here. Pretty nice price action too, right? 390 all the way to 460. Traders like their double bottoms. True. Yeah, this acted as good support here. Maybe one more thing to keep in mind too is, I mean, at least according to the scanners that I can see, it's really only this stock in play. So this stock is getting all the attention. Considering yesterday was a hotter day, this is the only stock in play at the moment. That could also be playing a role. Yeah, so after the initial surge, triple top, volume was still somewhat elevated too. Not sure really how to assess it. This is weakness from this, but it is much strength to see this much volume come back into. Really struggling to break above 50 and hold. This is turning much more into a flat top kind of setup. It's really holding at this upper level. Oof, what a breakout there. Again, huge volume. This is such crazy volume for this kind of catalyst too. Took a starter position for a 50-cent gain. Good way to start the day. 50-cent gain. That's awesome, man. Good stuff. Coming up on the half hour here too. 50-cent exponential gains. Exponential indeed. Mm-hmm. Too bad it's not tradable at Interactive Brokers. Yeah, it's very interesting that we're starting to see this, where some brokers are just not allowing trading. What's up, Cap? Good morning. Good morning, sir. Good morning, good morning. This is done very nice. Don't forget to smash the like button. Yes, of course. AGPU being pumped by the same group that hit ROLR yesterday. 200K compensation. What do you mean being pumped by the same group? Is there a Telegram group that pumped this yesterday? Or are you just talking like News Catalyst? Yeah, because there's no news on this, so you're saying it's like a Telegram or some other kind of group like that. Had a couple big red days after 2 weeks of profit. Hopefully today is different. Yeah, I mean, I had that sizable loss. Was it Monday? I lost like $60 or something. So yeah, I think it was Monday. No, it was probably Friday and Monday that I had bad days. Yeah, still going through the midst of a trader rehab at the moment. Trying to be more selective. But it's just very punishing that we're in such a hot market right now and I'm being so selective. Yeah, very, very interesting price action on this. And you can actually see this has been increasing over the last few days too. So there could have been potential buying pressure here. And this is the actual moment of the momentum. So there could be insiders that have already bought down here at around $7. I'll just to go further back just to make sure. Yeah, this could have actually been accumulation across even lower periods, right? All the way down at $5 even. What if you just buy like 10 shares just to practice? Well, to me, it's more about the intent. It's more about trying to enter on higher quality setups. So that's what I mean by my criteria is stricter. In general, I only ever would take like 5 to 10 trades max. And really, that's always just reduced based off of the opportunity and how strict I'm being. Like yesterday, I probably would have taken maybe 4 or 5 trades if I was a little more lax with my criteria. Yeah, this thing's just bleeding down. The discipline needed to stay in trader rehab in a hot day should not be discredited. Yeah, it was painful, honestly. I didn't talk much about it, but it was a little bit frustrating, right? Me losing $5 on one trade and just not over trading whenever we're seeing such crazy moves, right? We saw ROLR and I sat on the sideline and watched the entire thing. But no, it was the right thing to do. I needed to make sure I was correcting my behavior. This is just grinding higher. Impressive. AGPU really looking just like a pump and dump now. And again, like I said, since this is a stock that has been grinding up significantly over the last 20 days, there is a chance that because there was no news on this, there's a chance someone has been accumulating this whole time, and now this is the pump and dump. So I'm hesitant to trade this. I mean, in hindsight, it's easy to say that, right? Because this went from $11 all the way to $8, so $3 loss in 4 minutes is kind of crazy. And the reality is too, I see a world where this just keeps going down, so I don't really want to touch it. Yeah, it's rough. Yeah, and the fact that this is the only other thing that really seems to be moving at the half hour. Not really nice to see that we don't have much follow-up. So I guess focus is still going to remain on SPHL. I mean, it's just kind of been grinding higher. And I'm still just so afraid to get involved with it here when it's up over 127%. PHL touched a recent high of day. That's fair, yeah. Yep. Starting to hit some daily resistance. All right, you got a bunch of wicks up here around the 670s. RILY also seems to be pulling away a little bit. This one has 30 million though. 30 million shares. Yeah, this looks like it's more of just an earnings play from yesterday, kind of a continuation. Have I got any tips on entry indicators? I mean, what I do is look for volume discrepancy. Seeing price break out on low volume or seeing price pull back heavy on low volume, those are bullish. If you're seeing price contract on high volume, to me, that's mostly indicative of a potential reversal or a level about to be broken. Yeah, so this is mostly dry volume until here. Probably a technical setup, right? This is a clear area that just broke through 1076. CGTL is moving. All right. No news, though. Okay. Yeah, the lack of news. Big red flag. This did move recently. You had this grind up. You also had this gap up. So it's not that this is just out of nowhere. The stock does seem to have had price action recently. Don't like that there's just this sudden spike out of nowhere, though. Yeah, still not a big fan of this. Seems like there's a lot of pressure being put on down here. Level 2's acting really weird on this one. Doing a lot of jumping. A sudden surge here. Wow. Am I crazy, or is the stream delayed? Yes, there is a small delay on the stream. Can't buy CGTL. And a cash-only account on Thinkorswim. Yep. Another victim of the Schwab incident. Can't say I'm surprised. I still genuinely think eventually all small caps are going to be untradeable on Schwab. This was some crazy range, though. 3 straight to 340. 100, about 130,000 of volume. And this is still on a stock with no news, so very, very strange. The level 2's also been acting very weird. Been very jumpy. Still looks like a lot of downward pressure. SPHL curling again, it looks like. This one's just very range bound at the moment. Still curious to see if we do break down, but it's not really convicting in a direction. Just large swings. The volume's been elevated this whole time too, actually. Okay, so second breakout attempt. It's time to 337, so a little bit less of a breakout. Maybe it has to do with the upcoming change to the PDT rule, which may lead to client loss of day traders on Schwab. So maybe they just start to reduce the risk and get rid of day traders just now. If that's the case, they've been doing this for over a year. So the PDT rule change, to my knowledge, really started to gain traction around like June or something of last year. So the fact that they started doing this a year ago, I will say they really started to crack down on it the last few months, maybe like the last 3 months. They started to really crack down. But they have been doing this for over a year. So when they first started doing it, to what I could observe, it was only on very, very niche stocks. It was very specific. So like the majority of stocks were tradable a year ago. Go ahead and move to this just so I can look at it, because this is breaking out. But yeah, it seems like the last 3 months specifically is when they started to crack down. That could line up with the PDT changes. But I just think it's interesting that they were already doing it before that was talked about. I think the fact that they're also banning traders on Thinkorswim that are high-frequency traders trading small caps is telling. It's actually crazy that this is still running. I'm actually genuinely blown away. I was talking about like here how I thought I was too late to the move, and then this ended up going another 50 or 100%. All right, this is pretty close to a 200% move. So we're getting strong momentum. Can't buy SPHL either. Yeah. All right, LY, pretty big pullback here. Somewhat high volume. I read a chat the other day that someone called them, and Thinkorswim said that they are making a program where you can opt to trade higher risk stocks. It's interesting. Might need to look into that. Oof. Pretty brutal breakdown on this now. Yeah, these volume candles, they're actually pretty similar to this upside pressure. Slightly bigger. Hey man, my real live trading been doing great so far. Good stuff. That's awesome. Just make sure you're staying disciplined and you're trading the correct setups and not just chasing. I know that today we've had some, or not today, but rather just the last few days, we've had some really great moves. And if you capture them, good. That's awesome. But just make sure you're not exposing yourself too much. It's real easy to get tied up in big returns on days when the market's hot, but just recognize that the market is hot. Today it feels a little weird, right? We really only had SPHL move, and it's been an awesome move. Don't get me wrong, but it's been one of the only moves. Thanks, didn't know that. I'm with Schwab for 1 month now. Unfortunately, Schwab is the only free commission broker here in Europe. Even Webull costs $1 min fee per transaction here. That's actually terrible. I just look on stock of USA. I do not lose time looking through stock from other countries and knowing that Thinkorswim can trade it. As a stock pop, the first thing to look at is the country. Yeah. I get that. CGTL still doing very strange pops. This one's so weird. Doing this weird action, no news on it. Very strange. Webull's also $1 in Australia. I guess I have it good then, if I'm able to trade it for free. For sure. I didn't trade at all when it's slow. Didn't see any good option. You're in 2 green day for this week. What am I sitting at? I think I'm sitting at 2 red, 1 green. Was not expecting SPHL to run like that. Yeah, me neither. I mean, it's insane. It's just breaking away now. I mean, I'm just even looking at the 5-minute chart on the side here, and it's just... like, holy crap. Yeah, the fact it's the only obvious stock is playing a role here. Yeah, no, like I said, I'm genuinely surprised it's moving that much. The news is not great. It's mediocre. That's what I was saying at the start. I might be getting involved with this soon. See how this plays. Close. Didn't hit, though. Low of 293. My entry was at 291. So I was 2 cents off of getting a fill here. Considering how whiplashy this has been, I wanted to put a more conservative entry. Now, SPHL, what did that go up over? Over 300%, right? Because it was around... That was around $2. That's way more than 300. This was up like... What is it up right now? Yeah, it's up like 350% right now. It was probably up around 400% at the highs. It's insane. Yeah, this just kind of spiraled. I mean, maybe it was a short squeeze, who knows? This does clarify, though. We're definitely in a hotter market. This kind of news catalyst generating this kind of move is very, very strange. It could just be the hotter market plus one singular stock in play, right? It is a lower float, so that is also probably relevant. Maybe this is just a mix of everything lining up. Low float, only obvious stock, has news. Like, not even great news, just has news. Interactive broker won't let you trade CGTL. This is a very interesting spike here after this breakdown. Same here, fellas. Yeah. Seeing a lot of people unable to trade it. That could also be a thing too, right? Lower float, not a lot of brokers able to trade it, less people able to move the price. That could also be a factor. That's very valid. We're coming up on the top of the hour, though. 2 minutes till the top. We might see something new come into play. Won't let you trade SPHL either. Don't worry, guys. It's for your protection. Because we know that the brokers and the banks just really care about keeping you safe. You gotta believe me, guys. It's for you. You too, Avatar? We're entering the era where they're just not letting you trade. 2026. It sucks too. I was 2 cents away from getting a fill here. 291. That would have been a great trade too. Just a little bit. And I was afraid to really punch sooner. Right, this looked excellent. High volume on the pump. Super, super low volume on the pullback. Looked very nice. But just because of how much this had ranged, I was afraid I was going to get caught in a big drop down. So I was kind of anticipating another final big drop before the move. We just never got it. And even here, though, like, this is a pretty big reversal. 340. This is kind of what I was, like, trying to avoid. AUID. You just subbed. Thank you, Trey. Or Jay. I appreciate it. Yeah, if you're new to the stream and you're enjoying it, maybe subscribe. I do stream every day. All right, so we do have news on this. Mm-hmm. 15 million shares, so a bit higher float. This is also a pretty terrible death spiral stock. So it doesn't look very pretty on the daily. Yeah, it looks like people were kind of rejecting it too. All the way back down. Yeah, BNKK. This also has news. Strategic partnership. Same thing as SPHL. 5 million shares. That's a lot better. Still kind of a death spiral stock, though. $340 could be a good drop setup. Super low volume on this first pop, though. That's concerning. Very, very high volume, though. This one just kind of broke away. The partnership deal, same thing as SPHL. Huge volume coming in. This is clearly momentum from the first play. Yeah, 1 million shares of volume. Immediately up almost 100%. This just, you really had to get a micro pullback on this. Yeah, 420 might have been the daily point to buy. There's the daily support there. I identified it too late. This would have been a good buy point. You would have got a nice 60-cent move off of it too. I'm a bit worried this is top heavy though. This is very significant volume on this downward pressure. Next support probably around 360. I mean, obviously at 4 as well, but 4 is pretty close to 420, so I'm not really expecting it to hold. Okay. Went ahead and took a position there. This looks like nice volume on the pullback. We'll see if we get a bounce here on the daily. Okay, went ahead and sold half, just trying to secure some. All right, we're out for the rest there. Nice little base hit. Yeah, this stream is, I think it's like what, 20 seconds or so delayed. Someone could time it if they want, or maybe I could. I'll tell you what, I'll actually figure it out now. It might be like 15 seconds, so I'm gonna go ahead and just do a count here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30. Okay, so it's about 30. Yeah. Yeah, nice little base hit there. This made sense for a bounce. Actually, honestly, both of the daily bounces would have worked great here. The first daily bounce was at around 425. You could have got a big bounce here from 425 to 480. The next best would have been the one I took, which was on this daily here at around 360s to 370. Really good entry there. If I held longer, I was a little bit too afraid to hold longer, but if I would have held longer, I could have gotten up to an extra 50 cents. So, and yeah, I timed the bottom super well too. So both those setups were valid. You had descending volume as well with a very amplified move down. So the volume profile matched. It's good. My entry was slightly high, but on the flip side, given how big of a move this was down, I'm not going to critique being 6 cents off. I'm gonna... this is hard. Do I give this a B plus or an A minus? Let's see. Given the volume descended like this... Right, this volume is high, but relative to the power of the move down, it's lower. I'm going to give it B plus just because it's not super obvious. Not going to give it A quality. Volatility was super, super high. Come on, man. A plus? No, this was not an A plus quality. Did I make that trade tracker? Yes. I have multiple, actually. In the description of this live stream, there should be a Discord link. All of my spreadsheets are available. You can download them for free. I don't sell anything. So if you want to try them out, by all means, you can download them. At least we're on the board today. And this is significant too, right? Considering I took 1/3 size and got $11 out of it, this was actually a pretty strong trade. Check out AUSI. You sure you spelled that right? AYDI. Are you sure you spelled that one right? AUDL. AUDI. What? Am I? Okay, you're losing me here. I've tried like 4 different combinations. Yeah, I tried AUSI, AYDI, and AUDI. None of them are giving me anything. I don't know what to tell you. AUID. AUID. Okay, there. Yeah. My fingers are too fast. AU. Dude, slow down, Sonny. Slow down, man. That's 4 different attempts to say the same ticker, and all were a little bit off. We'll slow down a little. Thank you, Omat. Omat. No, you're good, man. You're good. Yeah, this one's a little bit cheaper. You can see it's grindy too. Yeah, even on the daily, this one, another death spiral type of stock. Does have news. I suspect, yeah, 15 million. It's a little bit higher float. Yeah, this isn't quite what I'm looking for. The volume is high, don't get me wrong. But this just isn't really moving. Isn't really moving quite the way I would want it to. It's a little bit slow. Especially relative to the others. And that's partially just because it's so cheap and the float's a bit higher. Right? I mean, it went up 30%, so like that's no slouch of a move. Yeah, I don't think I'm gonna mess with it. It's just a little bit too cheap, a little bit too slow for me. BNKK. Yeah, I see it's breaking back out here. Dude, my trade in hindsight looks brilliant, right? I bought at 370 whatever. 372. So I bought here. Like, in hindsight, this looks like an excellent entry. You knew it was going up. Well, if you knew it was going up, why didn't you buy? Right? And I say that as a joke, but the thing is we don't know if something's going to go up. Right? I can say I think it's going to go up. It's like, oh, I thought it was going to go up. But we didn't know. The only way I would really have more respect for someone that says, I think this is going to go up. Like, the first thing is just them saying it. It's like, okay, that's their opinion. But whenever, like, for example, when I traded this, like, that's showing that I had high conviction. Like I said, A+. I mean, if you were looking for a bigger move, mine was more of just a recovery bounce, right? This was very extended. We hit daily support. Volume descended. You couldn't tell when this candle closed, but this volume was super low on this first push. Purely looking at it from a dead cat bounce perspective, this looked like a setup worth taking. If you were looking at this for a setup to return to high of day, you could assess it differently. For what I was assessing it for, it was around B+ quality. Low sell volume, high buy volume. Oh, if you bought, then heck, good stuff. Good job making money. Yeah, huge volume starting to come in on this too. SPHL continuing to bleed off. Yeah. You bought at 430. Dang, up 70. Up 70 cents a share. That's crazy. Yeah, I only made like 21 cents a share on it. I say only. But considering how much this has moved, 21 cents is not a huge portion of this move. So I didn't really capture that much of it. Got greedy and hit max loss. Good luck today, everyone. So sorry to hear that, Skivan. Yeah, it's rough. It's even worse whenever you see stocks moving like this. You know it's a hot day. And you hit max loss. It's so frustrating. Right, I had the max loss of, what was it? 3 days ago. No, I'm sorry to hear that. That's also why I'm not trying to chase too aggressive. Despite us having two crazy big moves, I've only taken one trade today. I am trying to engage more if I see an opportunity, but I just haven't seen any clean entries. SPHL just grinded up too slow for me, and we just haven't had much other than SPNL. BNKK was the only other one that seemed in play. There will always be more opportunities, yes. But it is important to preserve your mental. Don't do what I did, Skivan. Don't revenge trade and come back. Get out of here. Or if you want to watch and you're just closing down, that's fine too. Though, in my humble opinion, I would recommend not continuing to watch, because that might just make you FOMO in. But you do you. Okay, bit of a pullback again here. Volume is high, but relative to this volume is still low. Now we know this can bleed for several minutes. It's already proved that. So I'd like to give it another minute of pullback, ideally. On daily, 420s. I guess 470s. Okay, well, it's just bouncing here. That's fair enough. Yeah, this is just so extended now that I'm accepting that we could see dollar moves per minute. So I'm trying not to just jump in this right away. All right, like what is the range on this? 520, 580. Okay, so my mistake. 60-cent range, not $1. Still very high though. Given how volatile it is, this would probably be a half size if I do take another entry on it. Still seeing descending volume, but unfortunately this is still too elevated cumulatively compared to this. So I'm a bit worried this could be too much selling pressure. Yeah, 470s seems like a good entry if we do get that low. It would probably be a half size as well. Continuing to see descending volume, but price has not really moved either, so this is a little misleading. Yeah, I like 470s. 460s, 470s for an entry, if we do break down. Well, we might be getting it soon. Let's see. Hoth is moving. Hoth might detract. Does have news too. It's a penny stock though. I'm gonna keep my focus on BNKK. This might lose some momentum now, in addition, because Hoth is moving now. Because it bounced at 84, high volume, I'm starting to think my 470 area is too... Oh, this is on a pullback. Thinking maybe 460s. See if we get a bounce here. Looks a little heavy. Took half off, small profit on it. This looks like it might just flush, so I don't want to have super high size. No, I'm cutting it. It's struggling too much at 470. I'm a bit worried. Very small profit on that trade, but it was struggling too much here. I was afraid of a hidden seller. We'll see if this actually does break down here now. I mean, it could bounce here. This still seemed like a good entry. My entry was a little bit off. I got in it at 461, so I was 10 cents from the bottom. Okay. That was a smaller win. So this was higher volume, but given that it was after this pullback, probably give it B plus again. Give it B. These two volume bars are a bit high. They're not super high relative to the main move, but the volume had decreased during this consolidation. Yeah, so very, very small win on that one. Basically break even. And it looks like I was kind of right to do that too, in hindsight. The fact that this struggled for 3 minutes, given how much this is ranging, the danger of this rugging is pretty high. So I don't regret cutting the trade when I did. I also didn't time the entry precisely. Right, I was about 10 cents off. AUID is so extended. Oh, wow. Wow, this actually ended up ripping. I didn't actually think it would move. I mean, it's a hotter day, so I guess it's to be expected. We are coming up on the half hour as well, so we'll see if we get anything new coming out. Yeah, only spent about $300 in capital today. So very little capital allocation. Whoever John Gulias was must have been very disliked for BNKK to up so much on his resignation. Yeah, it must have been a very poor job if it's getting that much movement. That would actually make me so depressed if I quit a company and then the stock price goes up 300% or whatever it was. It was up 100%. Stock price doubles on you resigning. That's got to be a blow to the gut. Just dang. They hate me that much. I mean, you look at the stock. It's just been on a death spiral. But no, it's probably more of just the hot market, but it's funny to think about. Okay, so if I would have held, I would have gotten rewarded for it, but I would have had to hold 5 minutes in a stock that's moving very aggressively. It would have been very high risk. CGTL, surprisingly, this is still ranging. I'm almost tempted to just take a stab at it just because of how much range it's giving. Not here, but if it goes back to the lower end of the range, I might just take a stab at it. Because this is like, if you just range traded this, you would have made so much money. The risk would have totally offset it. I might take a very small size just for a scalp trade on it. And then you guys can watch me get instantly punished. And then the stock just tanks down to like 260 or something the moment I buy it. I'm sure that'll happen. Yeah, I'm thinking like I don't even know. It kind of like had a higher low here though. Yeah, probably like 314, 312. If I wanted to be really safe, I could go like 303. Or maybe it just rips away here, right? But I don't know. So this has hit this level here, 350. It's hit it, what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this stock has been getting hit here a lot. NITO moving. Let's take a look. Looks like we do have news at the half hour. Spotlight's co-founder, blah, blah, blah. Lower float. Looks like a death spiral of some kind. Now this did pop immediately on only 4,000 shares, right? It went from 160s all the way up to 2. That's quite a jump on no volume. All right, 150,000 is significant for 2 million, but I'm hesitant that this just might roll over. Also, this doesn't feel like 2 million, right? It says 2.7 million on Thinkorswim, but just looking at the way this is range bound on this volume, the level 2, the way it's acting, does not appear like 2.7 million. I think the float's a little higher. Okay, yeah, so again, we get super high volume on this pullback. This doesn't look like a good setup for me to buy. Looks very high risk. Yeah, I don't trust this. Yeah. You woke up late, but you're short NITO. Flip-flop, you missed the craziest morning, dude. This was such a crazy morning. If you haven't already, check out SPHL. The stock went up like 400%. Right, from $2 all the way up to 12. It's absolutely monstrous today. As for NITO, yeah, it's... You had super low volume on the move up, super high volume here at the consolidation, breakdown on high volume. Looks bad. You also may just have people that were too hyped because of all the movement and they just jumped in this. I may do a trade on it though if we go back too much. Not here, but if we go a bit lower. Yeah, maybe 260 or 169 was the play, but I'm looking for more of like 158. So I had an order at 157, and 156 went through on the level on the time and sales, but I did not get a fill at 157. That's a bit frustrating. Like even on, I placed the order before the price went here, and there was still an order that went through 1 penny below my entry. How does that even happen? Whoa, CGTL finally broke out. Yeah. Very interesting too. It consolidated for so long here. Hmm. Okay, took a half size on that knife. Looking for a recapture for 350 if we can get it. No, just going lower. Tried to get out there, 350. Didn't get a fill. All right, I just went ahead and cut it there. Yeah, this one, my entry was excellent, but this one was just showing too much potential to rug more. Couldn't afford to keep holding it. Yeah, my entry, 327. That's a pretty strong entry, considering this rug. ROLR, new news. I'll check it out in a moment. I'll go ahead and log this. I'm gonna give that one a B minus. I had very little prep time for that one. I don't even think 3, probably 2 is more accurate. Did correctly take quarter size though. Right, just with how quickly that flushed, assessing risk was pretty hard in the moment. Yeah, it did. So my order to sell, I think it was like around 350 initially. Yeah, around 352. So I would have gotten hit for that extra 10 cents. But just considering how much this was ranging and how the volume was high, I could not afford to hold this more than like 30 seconds to a minute. I needed to have instant resolution and just didn't really get that. ROLR. I see what you mean. It does have news. Looks like it had news rather at 8 o'clock. Or no, they put out a letter. I see. Yeah, so they put out another news catalyst. Just a letter of intent. I'll be honest, I really don't want to touch this stock. It's so expensive now. I'm so worried about a secondary offering or something. Let me check. I want to check, see if they have a shelf registration. Ooh, they do have a shelf registration. Ooh, this is really dangerous to touch then. No. No, that's probably a hard pass for me. This thing is just screaming to be diluted. I think I'll set this one out. As for other stocks to really keep on watch, I'm not seeing anything that looks immediately in play. A lot of things are just starting to consolidate now. AUID moving. No, that's fair. No, that's fair. Yeah. How much is this up? 86. We have had so many, basically 100% movers today. This is like number 3. We're totally in a hot market right now. There's no question. It's unfortunate I'm still trading with 1/3 size, but it is what it is. I'm just happy that I took some good trades today. But yeah, similar story with this one. I'm really afraid to touch it at this point just because I don't know if this is the top or not. I don't really like touching it when it's this high. Right, I'm always afraid it's going to turn into SPHL kind of thing where you're just at the top. By the way, this thing has really gone sideways. This hasn't truly broken down. Very reminiscent to ROHL on day 1. Or RHR. Right? This went sideways. This is the 15. I'll do 5 minutes, just give better visual. Yeah, this went sideways and kept most of its momentum. It seems very reminiscent. CIMB or CJMB. Yeah. Hot markets cover up mistakes. Yeah, that's true. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Immediate spike too. Like this immediately goes up what? 100% instantly. Like, what am I supposed to do with this? Okay, instantly up 200%. My God. God dang. Science manufacturing. Okay. No, it seems like strong news. Yeah, so not surprised this would pump on that. Can't believe this went up 200%. 100% a minute. Like, I can't trade that. I don't like buying the micro pullbacks in the first minute or two of news. Incredible move. And I mean, it could keep going, but I don't want to engage with it. Not here. This seems way too risky. You're short at 340, but man, good news. I mean, 3 short is a pretty clean short position, right? The stock's up 300%. I mean, looking at the daily, I guess 370, 380 looks like the clear first main resistance point. And we basically just... So we did hesitate there for 2 minutes, really. And then we just smashed through it. So really, I think watching how the price reacts at 380 is going to be key. To see if we see another leg or not. Around 380. I'm going to give it like a 10-20 cent buffer. Just because this thing is so volatile. Yeah, we're definitely in the midst of a hot market right now. Yeah, I'm probably just going to spectate this for now. If we see a huge pullback, maybe to 270s, I would be interested. I do like that we're having volume decrease, but this isn't super low. I do think I'm more bullish than bearish, though, but we'll see if we get a bigger pullback. Your average is 386 now. Man, averaging in here. Oof. I mean, we'll see. If it breaks down here, I could see it breaking down hard. We are up 300% or 200% between the two. Continuing to see elevated volume. We're having almost 1 million volume a minute on a 4 million share stock. Or your average is, sorry, my bad. Your average is now 386, yeah. All right, let's see if we get the pull back to 270s just to see here. Yeah, 270s seems somewhat valid for a bounce if we get it. Increasing volume. Don't really like that for an entry. Volume needs to go down. Out for a 66-cent win. All right, took a little starter there. Half size. This thing is quite volatile. All right. Nice quick little hit there. Made 588 on it. 270s is right where I wanted to be at. Got in slightly high. When I saw it went to 270s, I wanted to buy, but it immediately recovered from that. But that also acted as confirmation, saying that that was the point where buyers were stepping in. So I'll accept that 5-6 cents of slippage. All backside moves. I'm so afraid to touch the front side of these moves. I'm so used to the colder market where things are rolling over. I just don't want to touch the front side. That was a much better quality though. Given this was increased volume, this was less so. I can't give this A quality because of that. Give it B+. It did have great daily support, was a logical pullback point, did see confirmation. Volatility is quite high. Yeah. Nice little base hit again. Yeah, being up $23, considering I'm taking 1/3 size, is actually pretty impressive. This would have been a $69, $70 green day. All right, give one more quick shout out before we get near the end of the stream here. If you're enjoying the stream, I do stream every day. Maybe consider subscribing if you're liking what you see here. And yeah, just go ahead and leave that there. Just get my daily shout outs in. But yeah, when we get 9 o'clock here, I'll go ahead and stick around for 5 more minutes, see if we get anything else that looks like it could be in play. We've had a lot of great moves today. 3 or 4 100% plus moves. We're in the midst of a hot market. I mean, I'll evaluate it today before I make my review, but I'm probably going to bump up my share size from 1/3 size to half size. Your NBNKK at 434. Good luck, sir. I would be worried about this being the backside, if I'm being honest. Right, this is clearly starting to become the potential for a backside. I mean, you could get a curl here, right? If you get a return to high, that's a huge return, right? Or whatever you're aiming for. And if you're looking for, I mean, it really depends what type of resolution you're looking for, right? You could be looking for a dead cat bounce, but yeah, good luck, sir. Which broker allow you to short CJMB? That'd probably be a question for Flip Flop. He's our resident short seller. You want a curl, yeah. I mean, it could. This feels like it's a bit of an awkward curl, and it's hard to say because of the volatility. This doesn't feel very smooth. It feels very whiplashy. I mean, there is some kind of curl starting to form, but I don't know. I personally wouldn't trust it for a curl. But that's just me, my tolerance. If you have your strategy fine-tuned to it, you know better than I do. CGTL surprisingly still holding up around this. It's still ranging, but the range is much smaller now, right? 430s to... I mean, this is still a pretty big range, 25-cent range. How long have I been trading? I really need to like write it down because I keep on trying to use my intuition. Roughly 7 years, give or take. So I've been doing this for a while. As far as streaming and all that stuff, though, this is super. I mean, I would still say it's super new to me. Like it's been multiple months now, but yeah, I haven't really been putting myself out there. Yeah, we're at 9 o'clock. See if we get any catalysts here or any new stocks in play. I wouldn't be surprised if it gets something, just given how much action we've had today. CJMB continuing to fade. I'm so tempted to just take a position here, just to try and scalp this, just for a tiny, like, I want to try it. I just want to do 1%. Okay, 1% capital. I want to try it. Let's see how smoked I get doing this. Okay, all right, now you're gonna break away. All right, fine. You were ranging this whole time for like 30 minutes, and now when I'm like, maybe I'll engage with it, you're like, no, we're pulling away now. All right, fair enough. Wow, this is actually just pulling away. By the way, no news on this too, right? We've had multiple stocks now with no news that have just run. It seems like everything's kind of running. As long as the stock is a lower float and the news isn't actually just nothing, it's just running. See, now I'm afraid to like try and do a range trade because this is show now movement. So now eyes are on it, so it makes more sense for it to rug. Schwab doesn't allow CGTL. Yeah, a lot of people are saying the same thing. Yep, we're going to reach a point, I'm telling you. We're going to reach a point where you can't trade anything on Schwab. If something doesn't change, because it seems like they're getting more strict. Not sure exactly why. I have my suspicions, but I suspect within the next 6 to 12 months, you won't be able to trade any. Like, you'll only be able to trade 5 or 10% of small caps. Because it's clear that's where they're pivoting to. Okay, so CGTL just kind of running now. I was looking for potential kind of range trade, but nope. The moment I decided I wanted to do that, it told me no. Fair enough. Slow volume on this pullback. 22,000. If we do actually get another breakdown, that would probably be pretty valid. Yeah, I don't see anything really new on the scanners. CGTL, I was going to try range trade on this, but it broke out right as I was thinking about that. So I'm going to have to pass on that. And yeah, I think I'm just going to lock it up for the day. Great day. 4 trades, all green. This one was basically a break even, though this one wasn't really a winner. But yeah, nice day. I'm super high momentum. Multiple stocks moving 100%. And I'm not gonna pick on Squan, but the reality is with all these stocks moving, there's a lot of people, you might think that it's missed opportunity, but there's a lot of people that are probably experiencing high losses today. So don't think that just because a stock is moving a lot that you missed out, because a lot of people lost money on it. Right? For example, what was it? SPHL. While this did go up a huge amount, you know there's a lot of people that lost money chasing into this. Maybe someone trying to revenge trade this lost money. Like there's certainly people that have lost money trading these big moves. So the important thing is if you're green or red, don't feel like you missed something. Because the important thing is just to follow your strategy, follow your process. But yeah, I'm going to wrap it up here for the day. Great day overall. Hope you all have a good rest of your day. You're still here, Skivon. Start the day out green, though. Yeah. Well, I didn't even know you were still here, man. Well, you all have a good rest of your day.